How's it going, everybody? MysticMuffin back. I fucking hate myself because I fucking made a video about this, and guess what? My fucking thing wasn't recording the whole time, so it would have been a whole dialogue of me looking at a fucking blank screen. Good job, stupid. So, instead of doing a whole video of me just covering all of these, because that's what I fucking originally meant to do, but I wasted 40 minutes of my life doing nothing, I guess. I'm sorry, I'm just really pissed at myself right now. So, besides the fact, let's just get right into the shot. Be all cheery now. I'm gonna, instead of just going over each perk and what's good and what's bad for traditions, I'm just gonna cover the two traditions that I find to be the best for beginning, and then maybe I'll say which one's good for a second or a third perk. But I'm not gonna cover all the perks because some of the perks are more late game, and I'll say which ones are. So for early game, I recommend Expansion Discovery. For middle game, it's Prosperity, Harmony, Supremacy, maybe Diplomacy as well. The reason I suggest these four is middle game is due to the fact that they have nice middle game capabilities, nice expansion. Domination I find in late game due to the fact that usually you have to get big enough, first of all, to be able to start subjugating people and doing all that. So that's why I don't suggest this to be an early or a mid game. I find it more of a late game when you're subjugating everybody because you're so fucking big. So, moving back to early game, why I suggest Discovery and Expansion is very specific. Expansion gives you new colony starts with one additional pop right off the bat. That's very good. By the time I'm usually getting full Unity, I'm usually starting my first colony. So my first colony is in the process, and then all I have to do is adopt this right before that happens, and now I just get two pops on one planet, which is very nice. Right off the bat, may you be slacking in food, minerals, or energy. The second you get that, you're able to put that extra person right on it without having to keep them on the capital. So moving on, colonizational fever increases now produce capital buildings now produce additional +1 Unity, which is very nice right off the bat. So instead of producing, like, let's say you're just starting the game, instead of producing 1 Unity, whatever it may be, now you're producing 2 Unity, which is automatically double. And for each planet that you get, will produce 2 Unity on your capital buildings. So it's very nice. The next thing I suggest is Courier Network. The network of small courier vessels is a reliable alternative for transporting VIPs or delivering messages that can't be trusted to FTL communication. This will tie our far-flung colonies more closely together. The effect on increased addition costs caused by the number of planets is reduced by -33%. Now, if you look at the cost right here, base cost is 56 traditions. The number of traditions is plus 641 plus 161. Wow, that was fucking hard for me. For 4 traditions, it just naturally goes up. And then that's just times 4 of 56. 23 pops. I believe each pop is worth 2, so that's +2 Unity for each pop. And then colonies. I have 2 colonies. That's plus 33.50%. So instead of being plus 50%. So each colony is 25% naturally. On top of that, so that sucks. So if you want to expand fast, you'll hurt your Unity. So getting Courier Networks really does right off the bat reduce everything in the long run, because now everything is as supposedly you could say 33% cheaper. It's not really 33% cheaper. It's more of like a 10 or 20. I'm just saying overall because it adds that on top of it. But it's still very good. It saves you that much Unity down the line, assuming you get tons of planets too. And then moving on to a new life. A new life awaits our citizens in the off-world colonies. A chance to begin again in a golden land of opportunity and adventure. With the help of an aggressive marketing campaign, the less fortunate elements of our society will be flocking to our colony ships. Population growth reduced by 10% and a colony development speed increased by plus 50%. Those two. A new life are very good. If you go the trait minus 10% to growth time, then you snag the research minus 10% to growth time, then snagging a new life tradition minus 10% growth time, you automatically have all your populations, whatever species you may be, minus 30% growth time. By the time you get probably, may it be as my date is 2219, you may be 2215. and automatically have minus 30% towards your growth time, which very much helps you and helps you expand so much faster, and the fact that you'll be able to fill all your tiles much more quickly, which in the end will give you more minerals, more energy, and more food, more science, and more unity, because now that's a new factor. So that will all help. Getting this is very good, assuming you stack with others. Either way, it's still very good. And then you get colony development speed. Get the research, minus another plus 50%. Automatically plus 100%, which is very good. Double the rate. Which, assuming you're trying to colonize fast, maybe you've gotten the research and this. Someone's trying to colonize something. They have the regular one, as in they haven't got the research or a new life tradition. You might be able to snag that planet significantly faster than them. Another planet may be in the same system or something, and they would have to immediately, may it be not in the same system but neighboring system, they might have to abandon that planet due to your influence extruding into that system, making them abandon the planet in the middle of colonizing it. I don't know if that's actually happened before, but by the time they try to do something, they might be losing some factor or whatever it may be. It's still very good. Then you have Reach for the Stars. The frontier of our star nation are being pushed ever forward. Soon nothing in the galaxy will lie beyond our grasp. For the purpose of colonizing and building frontier systems count as being half the distance. This is very nice, maybe colonizing planets or frontier outposts. If you're trying to snag a place real quick, you don't have to worry about having not enough influence due to the fact that this halves the distance. So that reduces the amount of influence. So you should definitely have now, with this perk, the amount of influence to, assuming this is still early game, and you haven't completely used all your influence on laters right off the bat, then you should have enough to place frontier outposts. May it be a rivaling faction next to you, or you have just discovered a faction but not completely discovered it, you know what I mean? And the fact that they're there, just through sheer look and the fact that you see a station, but neither of you have researched one another to visually see one another, and the fact that I have exploited this before, and the fact that the game doesn't always do this right off the bat. I haven't used the frontier outpost before, but this tradition before, but I have in other games put a frontier outpost near their area to snag some resources, and then that frontier outpost basically be the border, because I'll be able to snag that solar system and maybe more. But now their borders are pushed more back. Of course they hate you, but hey, fuck them. So this is very nice. These two sort of slack off in the whole eye of the rest of them, but the whole scheme of the rest of them. But Galactic Ambition, the banner of our great empire, will be one day be as common as hydrogen throughout the galaxy. Frontier outpost upkeep reduced by 50%. This is sort of where it slacks off. This is nice early game, but does it really matter? The cost isn't too significant. This is like an okay perk. You really just needed to, I just say, completely get the finalization of adopting all traditions within the expansion, which in the end will give you +2 core sectors. If you love managing your sectors and managing your systems, and the fact that you don't want to deal with having the AI micromanage it, because whenever I have the AI micromanage it, I tell them to do research or something, and they're still producing 100 or so food. And not saying that one particular sector is doing it. I have multitude of sectors, but I don't have any of them focus food because somehow they're still producing it. And all my planets are basically even or under. So there's that. But this is still very nice. I find this to be a beginning one due to the fact that you get the cost reduction, you're able to expand very fast, you get more unity, you're able to reduce population growth and colonization growth, and frontier outposts are more effective now. Now, the second one I suggested for early game, this is the only two that I'm going to cover, is Discovery. If you want to learn about the rest of them, there's not too many good stackings. This Harmony has a good stacking with Happiness. I'll just cover it real quick. You get the Adopting, which is 10%. You get the Utopia, which is another 10%. And then if you're Spiritualist, you get another 5 or 10% on top of that. So I find Spiritualist stacking good well with Harmony. But let's go back to Discovery. Adopting it, Research Station minus 33%. This is nice. It's not great, but, goodness comes in small packages. So, the Research Station minus 33%. Instead of paying 90, you're now paying 60 minerals per research station. So let's say you're building a lot. This is perfect. It'll go well down the line. Trust me. To go boldly, a new age of exploration is upon us. As we once mapped the surface of our home world, we must now brave new terror in space. There is a galaxy full of wonder waiting to be discovered. Excuse me, sorry. Anomaly fail risk reduced by -10% and anomaly discovery chance increased by 15%. You can also, stack this with maps of stars, which I believe increase anomaly discovery chance, but either way it increases the survey speed, I know that much. So that will also stack nicely, especially if you do what I do and any research that involves anomaly research speed or any of the survey speed, I snag those because they're usually plus 15% right off the bat. So that is very nice, and the fact that it'll go good with the very next tradition that I have following this. Planetary survey cores. Our method of surveying uncharted planetary bodies has just continued to improve, and our scans now yield a significant amount of research data that is useful to our scientists. Gain research points equal to a third of our monthly gain when surveying planet. This is very nice. And the fact that you do get research station build cost -30%. You get anomaly discovery chance plus 15%, and anomaly fail risk -10%. And assuming you get map of the stars and maybe a research of plus 15% for survey speed, then you will be able to survey planets left and right, be able to do anomalies left and right, be able to just fly through and all this, and you'll get a third of that. Now, you have to keep this in mind. The more research you are outputting, the more beneficial this will be. So this is why it's good. This is why this perk is good. And the fact of adoption effect. Wow, I can't word. Research station build cost is reduced by 33%. So as I said, instead of 90 minerals is now 60 minerals. So this is very nice. And the fact that the second you get this, just immediately just get as much research as you can. May it be through space or may it be on your planets. So this is very nice. So focus this, I'd say. This is why I recommend it to be an early game, because remember, if you're like on a 600 or 800 or maybe 1,000 star system, this is very beneficial. Anything smaller than that, I don't recommend Discovery to be your first. I recommend Expansion due to the fact that it's so small. Because if it's like 1,000 system, you'll probably be, mainly done. You'll probably be up to, maybe up to ring megastructures, maybe even. No, I think it was up to you'll probably be up to megastructures. In the fact that by the time you're finishing everything, all the surveys of all the planets, assuming you're not like a hive mind or someone where everyone just completely hates you and closes borders to you. If you're not that kind of person, then you should be completely fine. And the fact that you'll be able to survey everything. So I find this to be the strongest perk out of the whole Discovery. And then moving on, scientist research cost reduced by 33%. It's okay. Leader skill levels increased by 1. This is very nice because all leader skills are increased by 1, which whatever leader may be is very beneficial. An admiral might get, instead of like 15% fire rate, he might get 20% fire rate. I don't know if it increases like that, but I'm just saying, like, every little thing that increases toward leaders is very nice. Instead of a 3-star or a 2-star you start out with, you might get a 3-star or a 4-star. So it's very beneficial. I find this perk to be very good. It's not great, but it's still good. And then faith and science. This is more of a late game due to the fact that you're mainly focusing on planetary survey cores and using your science ships to not do sys research, but instead survey systems. But this one, sys research increases planet happiness plus 10%. This is good. Let's say you go Discovery and Harmony, because Harmony gives you plus 10%, and Paradise Dome gives you 10%, so you can get automatic 30%. Let's say you go Spiritualist 2, automatic 40%, happiness towards all planets, assuming you put Paradise Dome on all of them. I'm just giving you a correlation suggestion right off the bat. But this is very good. Let's say you just did a war with somebody, and you have faith and happiness, and you don't have the time to build up maybe maybe a few more defensive armies to put on a planet to reduce unrest, and it's not like 100 unrest. You can send your lonely science ship over that's surveyed the whole galaxy, or maybe you have an extra one. So just go over to the planet that you just recently conquered that has 100 unrest, and just assist the research. Automatic plus 10% happiness might reduce your unrest to 50, or may it be 0 if it's that effective. It's just a very good perk overall, I say. And then ascension perks that I say correlate with expansion and discovery. The discovery one, I say gets technological ascension. The reason why, if you completely get everything, you get plus 10% research. Just finishing this whole perk. This whole tradition. Whole tradition tree finished, plus 10% research. Oh, guess what? You get a third on top of that. Oh, guess what? You get another 10%. Oh, guess what? That's 20%. Oh, wow. You're just flying through research right now, my friend. Get this right off the bat. You are now the next closest person to the fallen empires. It's just so good. Now, what I suggest for expansion, there's nothing really in particular. There's nothing too great. Maybe the Imperial Prerogative in the fact that you can have more core sectors, which is very nice. You're able to micromanage it more. But otherwise, there's nothing too focused on expansion. Maybe if you need border range, but if you do border range Interstellar Dominion, I suggest adopting that with Supremacy and the fact that plus 20% border range, plus 25% border range. But that's another conversation, another video for another time. I don't want to make this video too long because the other one was 40 minutes, but that's when I covered everything. And I try to correlate what was good, what was bad. As I said, early game is my opinion for expansion and discovery. Middle game, diplomacy, supremacy, prosperity, harmony. And late game, domination. That's because you're usually a huge fucktard and you're so big that you're just like, hey, guess what? I'm just gonna conquer everybody and subjugate everybody because I'm a huge asshole. Because I can do that. So that's what I recommend. There's not too many ascension perks that I like too well. Maybe one vision, which I say pairs well with harmony due to the fact that it has to do with gathering ethics a good amount. But it'll also give you unity out plus 10%. May you go expansion. You need some gathering ethics attraction. Sorry, my words are just slipping out of me. And you also get unity out plus 10%, which is very nice, and you're already reducing it on top of that. So it's very good. So that's what I have for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I can do more in-depth. It's not really a tutorial. It's more of an informational video, I guess you could say. Just trying to say what I suggest for beginning. The rest of these are like okay. Maybe prosperity might be a contender. We could do the fact that it reduces the cost of everything. I wouldn't say supremacy because of the fact that right off the bat you shouldn't be getting in a war. You don't have a 1 or 2K fleet to take on a space station. Domination, you shouldn't be subjugating anybody out right off the bat. Diplomacy maybe, and the fact that let's say you spawn next to a fallen empire, which you probably get fucked no matter what. Or let's say you spawn next to a rivaling faction let's say you have advanced starts put on, and they might be more advanced than you, but you might have a neighbor who might hate them as well. Then you can just ally with them. So this might be like I'd say maybe a second perk tradition, or maybe a first if you're in that situation. But otherwise, I don't think that's good. As I said, prosperity due to the fact that it reduces everything. It's very nice. Harmony. Increases your leaders, so it goes well with supremacy, and the fact that supremacy increases your admiral skill. Also, this increases their lifespan. So I say harmony correlates well in that. Also, this increases happiness and ship build cost, and fire rate is also increased, which correlates to this with fire rate increase and ship build cost. So that's why I say harmony and supremacy correlate really well. If you get one, get the other. They're just very good partners, as much as they're like opposite ends of the spectrum, which is very weird. And then that's why I say getting one vision, gathering efforts minus plus 30%. You get this, which is kinship, which is ethics attraction from distant capital. So let's say you're expanding very far, is reduced by 50%. So this very much does help. And then the greater good, unrest is reduced by 20, which is very good. Let's say you have defenders on it, and then you have somehow it can pair well with this and the fact that you can do happiness, which will reduce their unrest. And then Paradise Dome, which gives plus 10% happiness, more food, and produces 2 unity. So which is also very nice. So this is what I have for this video. If you guys want me to go in depth on anything else in here, or may it be governments, since governments did change. If it was the normal thing where it was science dictatorship or something of that sort, I would say go discovery in that sense, or it would be spiritualist dictatorship, or of any of those, I'd say go harmony in the fact that some of them increase, most of them increase leader experience or lifespan, and this one increases leader lifespan. And I don't believe it does anything else, but it does give you happiness, reduces unrest, which basically counts as happiness, I say. So that's what I have for this video. If you have any thoughts or concerns, leave comments down below if you haven't, or if you know of any correlations, like any good combos, leave comments down below on what you suggest would be a good combo. May it be prosperity, domination. I don't think those will go together well. But I'm just saying, like, any good traditions that go together, or may it be a good setup of, may it be trades, government, and a tradition that will go very well right off the start. That's what I'm trying to say. Not just overall. Like, you know, by the end of the game, you might have all these, assuming you go a long game, and at that point, traits don't really matter because you can just get everything. But, like, you know, for an early game start, because I might make a video on what I suggest would be a really great start, or a variety. But if you guys have any suggestions on a trait start with government and whatever ethics you pick, and then a particular trait tradition which will go well with that, let me know, and then I might do a video on it if I can, or if you guys even want me to do any videos on it. So this is the first video that I'm doing this where like an informational or a review. So, you know, as I said, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you didn't like it, hit the dislike button. Leave a comment down below on how you can improve your experience. And the Mystic Muffin hopes to see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.